Hello students, welcome to Zoology secondary class. Now discuss about transport of gases. So gases means oxygen and carbon dioxide. So the oxygen, carbon dioxide, so these both are transported by the blood only. First one, the blood is the medium. The blood is the medium of transport of the oxygen and carbon dioxide. The first one discuss about the transport of oxygen. The transport of oxygen. So the oxygen transported from the lungs to tissue, children, right? The oxygen is transported from lungs to tissues. Okay? Right. The oxygen transported from the lungs to tissue through the two ways. The two ways or the transport help in the transport of oxygen. In that first way is plasma. The oxygen is transported through the plasma in dissolved state. In dissolved state. It is about only just 3% of oxygen can transport a children. Just only 3% of oxygen transported through the plasma in the dissolved state, that is from the lungs to tissue, children. It is the first way. Now second way, the oxygen is transported from the lungs to tissues through the RBC. It is the second way, children. The 97% of oxygen, right children? The 97% of oxygen transported through the RBC. Okay, now you know children already the RBC contain one pigment now, that is red color pigment, that is hemoglobin. The hemoglobin is red color pigment that presents in the RBC. One hemoglobin, it consists of one atom, you know, one atom iron, Fe plus. Okay, the iron, it carries, it binding with 4 oxygen molecules. 4 oxygen molecules. One hemoglobin pigment contains an iron molecule, right? One iron molecule binding with 4 oxygen molecules, right now children? So these reactions occurs in the lungs because you know what children, that air directly enter into the lungs. In the lungs, the air pressure is high, children. The partial pressure of the oxygen is high at the lungs. So the oxygen easily binds to hemoglobin. Okay? The oxygen easily binds to hemoglobin at the lungs. So it forms oxyhemoglobin. This is called the oxyhemoglobin. Okay children, the oxyhemoglobin formed in the lungs. Now the oxyhemoglobin passes into the tissues. Finally the oxyhemoglobin passes into the tissues. In tissues, the pressure of oxygen is low. Okay children, the pressure of oxygen is low because you know already the tissues in the presence of oxygen, the glucose is break down and release carbon dioxide. So always the cells and tissues used the oxygen, so in the tissues. So the oxygen is low, children, at the place of tissues. So the oxyhemoglobin, it is dissociated into same reversible action, children. Oxygen and hemoglobin. So the oxygen can enter into the tissues. Okay, now you observe once again the transport of oxygen from the lungs to tissue, right? Transported by the two ways. From the lungs to tissue, the oxygen is transported by the two ways. One is plasma and second one is RBC. Through the plasma, just about 3% of oxygen is transported through the dissolved state in the plasma. Okay. Now, second way, the RBC. 97% of oxygen is transported through the RBC. Okay. The RBC has hemoglobin. It is a red colored pigment. The hemoglobin consists of an atom is iron. One iron molecule carries 4 oxygen molecules. That means children, one hemoglobin carries 4 oxygen molecules. right? Now, at the lungs, the oxygen, the partial pressure of oxygen is high. So easily the oxygen binds to hemoglobin and to form a oxyhemoglobin. Now that oxyhemoglobin is formed in the lungs, it is a red in color, dark red in color, children, the oxyhemoglobin. Now that oxyhemoglobin transported into the tissue through the blood, right? In tissue, the pressure of oxygen is very low. Because why it is low in the tissue, children? The tissues always using the oxygen for the breakdown of the glucose and release energy, carbon dioxide and water, children. Always the tissues are using the oxygen. So the oxygen pressure is very low at the tissues. It resulting the oxyhemoglobin, it is divides into oxygen and hemoglobin. So the oxygen can be utilized by the cells. Okay, so this is the second way. Now third one, oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. Right, children, third one, the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. Already we discussed now. What is that? First way is oxygen transported through the plasma, and second way RBC, the transported by the RBC, it is 97%. And third one, children, listen, the oxygen hemoglobin and dissociation curve. So the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve explained a relation between the percentage saturation of oxyhemoglobin, the percent saturation of oxyhemoglobin and the pressure of oxygen, children. A relation between the percent saturation of oxyhemoglobin and the pressure of oxygen. Now listen, children, the percent saturation of oxyhemoglobin, right, with oxygen is plotted against the pressure of oxygen when the sigmoid curve is obtained. The sigmoid curve is obtained when the percent saturation of oxyhemoglobin, right, with oxygen is plotted against the pressure of oxygen, children. Okay, so this sigmoid curve is called oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. Listen, children, once again. The oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve explained a relation between the percent saturation of oxyhemoglobin and the pressure of oxygen. Okay. Now, a sigmoid curve is obtained when the percent saturation of oxyhemoglobin with oxygen, okay, with oxygen is plotted against the pressure of oxygen, children, right? The sigmoid curve is obtained when the percentage saturation of oxyhemoglobin with oxygen is again plotted against the pressure of oxygen. So the sigmoid curve is obtained. When the sigmoid curve is also known oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. Listen, children, at the lungs, the oxygen easily binds with the hemoglobin. Okay, the oxyhemoglobin is highly formed in the lungs because you observe, children, at the lungs, high pressure of oxygen is there and low pressure of carbon dioxide and low hydrogen concentration and temperature also low, children. In these conditions, the oxygen easily binds with the hemoglobin and to form a oxyhemoglobin, right? At these conditions in the lungs. Now, at the tissues, the low pressure of oxygen, high pressure of carbon dioxide, high concentration, hydrogen concentration and high temperature. At these conditions in the lungs, right here, the main important, children, the low pressure of oxygen. So the oxyhemoglobin is dissociated into oxygen and hemoglobin. So at this condition, the sigmoid curve turn to left side, children. Okay, now here what is the pressure of carbon dioxide and next the hydrogen concentration. So these both are the oxygen affinity, the effect of oxygen affinity, children. The effect of oxygen affinity, that is called a Bohr effect. It is Bohr effect. Listen once. The oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve explained between the relation between the percent saturation of hemoglobin and pressure of oxygen. A sigmoid curve is obtained when the percent saturation of oxyhemoglobin with oxygen is plotted against the pressure of oxygen. Okay, now at the lungs, high pressure of oxygen, low pressure of carbon dioxide, low hydrogen concentration and temperature also low. At this condition, the oxygen hemoglobin, the oxygen binds with easily hemoglobin and to form a oxyhemoglobin. Now the oxyhemoglobin at the tissues, it is dissociated into oxygen and hemoglobin. At the conditions of low pressure of oxygen, high pressure of carbon dioxide, high hydrogen concentration and high temperature, children. At this condition, the oxyhemoglobin dissociated into oxygen and hemoglobin. So the sigmoid curve is turned to left side. Okay, here the effect of carbon dioxide and hydrogen concentration, okay, the effect on the affinity of oxygen is called the Bohr effect. Okay children, so this is called oxygen dissociated curve. Okay, thank you children.